Our Affinity project is about using digital literacy, online learning spaces, and collaboration to support STEAM education and standards. We are planning on using this for professional development at our school, so we will have a link to the PowerPoint available if you wish to use it. This quote from Martin Luther King Jr. represents what we want for our students through STEAM education and digital language arts. We want them to think intensively and to think critically. So what is the status of the topic in the field? STEM or STEAM education is important given that STEM-related jobs will be growing in the future. It's also important because as a nation we are ranked low in math and science scores. We're 27th in math and 20th in science when compared to 34 countries worldwide. We need to prepare our students for future jobs. More importantly, we need to teach our kids to be problem solvers and think critically. DeAngelis states that educating students in STEM subjects prepares students for life regardless of the profession they choose to follow. Those subjects teach students how to think critically and how to solve problems, skills that can be used throughout life. In our project, we looked at different standards and how we can support these standards through digital learning. ISTE standards are particularly important in STEAM and new literacies as they deal with science and technology. Also, we considered the 21st century skills of communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. Another set of standards to consider are the college and career readiness standards, and of course, the Common Core ELA standards. So our Affinity project is to look at STEAM education, digital literacy, and these standards. Important research we looked at is that by 3rd grade, students need to be reading proficiently. Also, early math aptitude is another predictor of future success. We also looked at research on STEM education and how this type of education represents the digital technological world our kids will be in for their future. And finally, teachers in STEM or STEAM will need to include literacy with STEM teaching. We all know that we're stressed for time as teachers. We'll need to integrate literacy throughout the STEAM disciplines and not teach these as separate areas of instruction.
In this presentation, we are going to explain how to use apps in combination with Google Classroom and Seesaw to meet the standards across the disciplines with a focus on writing and collaboration. Seesaw and Google Classroom are digital portfolios where students can store, collaborate, and share their ideas. All of the apps that we use in this presentation can be stored to these e-portfolios. Some of them are directly compatible, while others take a few more steps to be able to store them. And below there's a link for app affordances of Seesaw and Google Classroom. Next year, teachers of students at all grade levels at Heidi and Shawn's school will be implementing STEAM notebooks. One way technology can be easily integrated into lessons is by teaching students to take visual notes. Note-taking can be beneficial in all disciplines. Research on note-taking indicates that taking notes in class and reviewing those notes, either in class or afterward, have a positive impact on student learning. Not surprisingly, the preponderance of studies confirms that students recall more lecture material if they record it in their own notes. Students who take notes score higher on both immediate and delayed tests of recall and synthesis than students who do not take notes. There are many apps that can be used to take digital notes. By using digital sketchnoting, students will be meeting many of the Common Core anchor standards for writing. They will be routinely writing using the writing process, strategies, and technological tools to produce, refine, and present writing that is appropriate to task, purpose, and audience. Interactive science notebooks are popping up all over in classrooms. For the PK to 2 grades, they can be very challenging because of the writing, cutting, and gluing involved. Seesaw's tools can be used to capture a student's thinking using the various tools embedded into the app. Through the use of technology, students are engaged in the process of explaining their thinking. In the example above, students are learning about magnets. This student took notes and illustrated the concept of attraction in the notebook. The student could also audio record over the entry to make it multimodal. Students can address many of the Common Core standards for writing as well as speaking and listening by using a digital science notebook. For older students, Google Slides can be used in combination with Google Classroom to set up the digital notebook.
We also see that the reading and writing can be integrated into technology. So one example that we have here is that in a technology and engineering class, students can build many projects throughout the year. Apps like Seesaw, Show Me, EduCreations, and Explain Everything can be used to have these students combine video, audio, and text to explain the process and then share it with others. In this video, it was created in Show Me by a second grade student. It was his first time using the app. He was asked to explain what he did to create his fidget spinner using the voice and annotations tools. Students can also bring literacy into Scratch as they code, writing a scene from their fiction writing or taking their nonfiction research and putting it in a new coding project. Through the use of all of these applications, students are able to blend beautifully together their literacy skills into technology. We're also able to see how literacy can be blended beautifully with engineering. One way that we've seen this is by using Minecraft. Minecraft at EDU is an open world platform that inspires student engagement, collaboration, creative exploration, and problem solving. And in Minecraft EDU, students can design and construct buildings, create how-to guides, presentations, and videos to share with their learning experience with others. Students can actually then take what they've created in Minecraft and smash this with Tinkercad. And Tinkercad is an easy browser-based 3D design and modeling tool for students of all ages. And Tinkercad allows users to imagine anything and then design it, a 3D model that can be printed. And what's fantastic about Tinkercad is that there are built-in resources for both the student and the teacher that really require students to put their literacy skills into practice. And through the use of these applications, students will be meeting many ELA and ISTE standards, especially when combined with the other apps where they can explain their thinking through a presentation project, for example, using Google Slides, and potentially having videos that they may have used screencasts to create.
Technology, reading, and writing can be incorporated into the arts by using Seesaw as well as Google Apps. Through creating digital portfolios of student artwork, students can meet the ISTE standards of creative communicator, innovative designer, and as well global collaborator. Students can learn to critique other students' artworks and meet Common Core standards for speaking and listening, as well as writing informative text. There's an example of a lesson on this slide where students created a collage in the style of Eric Carle. During the process, they helped fellow students improve their work by giving them feedback. Once the final art piece was created, they posted it to their journal where they recorded informational text that they had written along with the art piece. In the discipline of mathematics, there are many different apps that students can use to practice mathematical concepts. Here we want to emphasize the use of applications that help students explain their thinking. Here, students can meet the ISTE standards of Global Collaborator and Creative Communicator, as well as mathematical practices, MP4, Model with Mathematics, and MP3, Construct Viable Arguments, and critique the reasoning of others. Using Seesaw, students can use the annotation tool to model the mathematics. They can then use the voice annotation to explain their thinking. Older students can use the text annotation tool to incorporate a written explanation of their thinking. For a tutorial on how to do this, you can click on the video icon. Also, in the upper grades incorporating Google Apps, when converting fractions into decimals, Juan wrote 3 1/4 is equal to 3.25. Clara wrote that 3 1/4 was equal to 3.1. Who's correct? Write response in the shared Google Doc and comment on at least one person's response. Or you could create an explain everything video that shows the correct justification and explanation using numbers, pictures, and words. Upload your video as an attachment in this assignment. So these are just ideas of how mathematics and STEAM and all the digital tools can be incorporated.
So now what we're we need to think about is how all of this research, all of these apps, how can it all come together? And is it viable? And the answer to that is definitely yes. What we know is that literacy skills such as reading and writing are too important to be taught during traditional reading or writing periods siloed off. And since the demand for jobs now and especially in the future truly intertwines many of the disciplinary content areas, the STEAM teachers must incorporate literacy activities into their lessons. STEAM teachers can easily integrate technology into their lessons to help meet literacy goals and augment student outcomes by having students more thoroughly understand key concepts and be more engaged, which are just two of the many possible positive outcomes of incorporating literacy through digital technology. The types of apps that STEAM teachers choose should not simply substitute or replace print-based lessons, but rather augment, amplify, transform, redesign, and redefine the lessons so that students can not only be more efficient and productive in their tasks, but also more creative, collaborative, innovative, and critical in their thinking. And some of the realizations that we came to are that STEAM teachers should be using the apps that require students to use their literacy skills and employ the 4 C's, which we believe all of the apps that we've covered today have included these, whether that's communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. And that when these STEAM teachers are choosing the apps, they should look for apps that are very versatile, can be used across the disciplines in multiple classes throughout the year. And once students know how to use these apps, they'll be able to use them across the disciplines and figure out for themselves which app would work best depending on the demands of the task. Give them voice and give them choice.
So posted to our DIGO Affinity group, we included articles on literacy and STEAM education. This research supports combining ELA standards and STEAM. Also, we posted articles in DIGO about the importance of STEM education, as well as digital and new literacies and Common Core standards and other standards. The final article we posted in DIGO is on 21st century skills. And this research supports preparing students for the skills they will need in their future jobs. Finally, if you download the PowerPoint, there are additional resources here covering 21st century skills, STEM education, collaboration, and more. Check it out. Thanks for watching.